You've been hating on everything. Pass it off like it's discernment. Don't you remember being hungry? Don't you remember being nervous? You don't give love anymore. Everyone around you scares you. You don't show up anymore. Here I am, baby, I dare you. Love me like you used to. Want me like you used to. Kiss me like you used to. Give it like you used to. I came and told you I was lonely. You said I better get used to it. When did you get so callous? Don't you remember being new? We'll do this. You don't give love anymore. Everyone around you scares you. You don't show up anymore. Here I am, baby, I dare you. Love me like you. Kiss me like you. Give it like you. Want me like you.
Woo. Yeah, man. That was beautiful. I love that song. I love you. I love that you're here. Where are we right now,
Love you
Ed?
too, Joel. We at Van's Dive Bar.
Why are we at Van's Dive Bar right now?
Because we here to talk about the Spenard Jazz Fest.
Spenard Jazz Fest. Yeah, we're here. We're on Amplify, Alaska. I'm on Amplify, Alaska, which, if you don't know, is pretty weird for me because Amplify, Alaska is a program I started about a year ago to put people like you, great musicians, in touch with people who are connected to organizations that work for the community and improve the lives of Alaskans. And I am here to talk about the Spenard Jazz Festival, which is something that I truly believe does that. I've been involved with them for a couple years. They first asked me to come up to Alaska as an artist. I'm a trumpet player and I perform my music. Yngvil had all kinds of nice things to say about it, and she gave me an amazing place to perform. And then COVID happened, and we had to kind of get creative. I was here. We did some live stream shows over Zoom, and for what they were beautiful. But, it was kind of all onwards and upwards from there. Yep. And, it just kind of got me thinking.
Let's just all forget last year happened.
Let's ignore it.
Can we just move forward?
Let me rewind and tell that story a little bit differently. Let me try that again. In 2019, I played at the Spenard Jazz Festival. It was great. I had a fantastic time. I blacked out for about a year. I don't remember any of it.
And now, boop, we're back, and we're maskless.
And here we are. What are masks? You know what I mean? I don't know what they are. I've never worn one. And, I think that here I am with this vision for this festival being something that truly can do for the community what it did for me, and give me a greater sense of connection to the Alaska music scene and what the potential is in the people who live here and all of this stuff, and bring me closer to people that I wouldn't have met otherwise. You know what I mean? I listen to your music on Spotify and on YouTube and with Medium Build, and I think that if an organization like Jazz Fest is doing its job, which it so often does so beautifully, it's bringing people like us together to do something like what we're about to do here tonight, which I just couldn't be more excited for.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's just, this is so beautiful because I think, Anchorage, the amount of influences everyone has and carries with them, and what they express in their art, it's just so vast and everything, and it's so cool to see it all come together.
Absolutely.
And so watching, Bethlehem, Shalom, like she's coming from a more rock perspective, and then me, I'm coming from a more R&B perspective.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful that like we're gonna all share the same stage, and like you're bringing in your aspects of jazz, and like we've created like this really fun environment in this night. And if we zoom out, like I think that is the beauty of this entire festival is like there's so much diverse and really like compelling art that's being created here, and this is a great showcase of all of it.
Definitely. I think that the art kind of is being created in people's own different way all around Anchorage all the time. I mean, there's all these sort of like beautiful little pockets of people kind of doing their own thing. I mean, the perfect example would be you in Bethlehem creating full like albums and EPs in your bedrooms, you know what I mean? Like on your own computers.
Yeah, quarantine projects.
Yeah, completely. Like, I mean, the coolest thing, sort of almost accidentally, because I didn't even think of it until we were in rehearsals, is that like this night gets to act as a release show for the projects that you and her put out during COVID. You know what I mean? Like during the year we can't remember, we sort of came back to, and there was The Hopeless Romantic and Badmouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like her project really, like, honestly, like it kind of all started with Bethlehem's music in terms of me like digging back into what people are making here. You know what I mean? Like I had probably heard of you already, but it wasn't until I was listening to her album all the time that your stuff started getting suggested on my Spotify, and I was like, wow, like
dope.
I'm just scratching the surface here. Thanks, Spotify. You should pay people more.
Oh, yeah. Let's hold them accountable, but also
really should.
love them. Keep sending people my way.
They provide a service. They
send me
connected
a
you
check.
and me. But yeah, pay Ed a little better. You know what I mean? Like, you can afford to throw him $1 every time I listen to the EP all the way through in the car, man. It's just, they're doing okay. They're doing okay, Spotify. So what do you think the future of this festival can look like with respect to the conversation that we've been having about, like, kind of building, like, this festival has been going on for 14 years, and from what I understand, it started as something that was just like based at Organic Oasis. It was a bunch of great musicians performing, but it started small, it started local, and it's built every single year into a thing that better serves the community and can connect more people and puts on better programming all over the city. I mean, I wasn't able to be there, but the thing at the museum looked amazing. They had this outdoor stage, people spread out all over that beautiful lawn. The people they had performing seemed amazing. What to you, as somebody who's sort of new to this organization, somebody who's kind of working with the festival for the first time, based on your experience, what would you say the festival could do to better serve Anchorage as a whole?
I think the festival is serving the purpose that it needs to serve. Like, you guys deciding to do a show with me and Bethlehem Shalom at Van's Dive Bar is such a beautiful thing. It's such a, like, it's like, it feels like Anchorage. It feels like it is reflecting what's happening as far as the music scape goes. I guess my call to action would be with the people. You know, like, I think we need to start, like, really starting to believe that we got something here. We gotta like have pride in what we're making. Yeah. And, like, people got to show up. So, like, if institutions like the Jazz Fest are taking risks, you know, and then bringing artists like in Ed Washington to a Van's Dive Bar with Bethlehem Shalom, like, we need people to show up.
Definitely.
So this becomes a proven thing. Like, oh, wow. Like, people love R&B music. People are going to show up to that. People are going to fill seats the same way that they would for a folk show. Or else we're going to do folk for 1,000 million years here because it works. You know? So at the end of the day, it's about the bottom line, but it's also about the art. So, like, let's get people to buy tickets and support good art and get that positive reinforcement for the Jazz Fest being innovative, you know? So I'm just challenging everybody that's watching this live stream to show up. Y'all been itching to go outside anyway. So come see me, and we're going to have a good time.
We're going to have an amazing time. I'm really looking forward to it. I love the idea you touched on that, like, through really going out of your way to support the other people who are taking risks in your community, a music scene can elevate itself, and a state and a,
exactly.
you know, like a culture, and the people making music around it can take it into their own hands the way that Yngvil and the other Jazz Fest founders did when they started this little jazz festival in a city that, you know, was known for anything but having a thriving music scene, much less something as specific as jazz music.
Yeah, and I imagine maybe it took someone being like, "Wow, I love what they're doing there." You know, I believe, and they showed up. You know, and like,
Yeah.
So I think the Spenard Jazz Fest and Amplify Alaska and you guys have all done your part, and now I'm just asking Anchorage to show up. You know,
Absolutely.
and honor it, because I think I had to. You know, have a long, hard talk with myself of like, am I going to continue to criticize the way things are here, or am I just going to be an example of what I want to see, you know?
Definitely.
And I think you guys are laying the stage for all that, but we need to follow through. And so we going to show up, and we need y'all to show up.
Without a doubt. Yeah. No, it's really going to be a lot of fun. I just like, I keep coming back to the idea of the like possibilities for the future, you know what I mean? And like, I think that the experience of putting this show together with you guys and like everything I've learned from it just has me thinking that, you know, like we sort of stand, especially coming out of COVID, we stand in the perfect position to really like springboard Anchorage into the future of being like a place that is considered like a cultural hub. I mean, like people, everyone, if you ask anyone in the lower 48, they always talk about wanting to come to Alaska. It's this like total pipe dream for them. But like in their head, they can't quite put together, other than doing outside stuff, which we all love to do, like they can't put together why it would be worth it for them. They like, everyone go, you know, you think of where you go on honeymoon, you go to Paris, you go to, you know, like any of these like travel
They
destinations.
don't even know
right?
it's black people up here, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I go down to the States, and they're like, "What? There's people that look like me up there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, there is." So I'm hoping, like, you know, stuff like this, Amplify Alaska, and then Spenard Jazz Fest, you know, celebrating, you know, people that come from my background and culture. You know, it's very simple. It's just about it's about giving everyone access to a platform, you know.
Yeah.
So like, I think as people realize that, no, we're represented up here, and we're also celebrated up here,
And
they don't
excellent,
want to come
you know
up
what I mean?
here.
Like, and not only recognized, not only celebrated, but like, you guys are working your asses off. You like musicians, like people are writing music that is undeniably true to this place and that you couldn't find anywhere else.
Yeah.
And if the rest of the state, like we're talking about, steps up and shows support of that, and the, you know, like the powers that be, there's amazing funding for music in Alaska. You know what I mean? There are all kinds of opportunities that me and my friends have taken advantage of year after year to be able to do the things, to be able to do this, Amplify Alaska. I mean, I could take a moment to thank our sponsors, but we'll get to that. But we, you know, like the support system exists. It just has to be directed forward. It has to be directed at you know,
and I think,
building
like,
the brand of the state.
Yeah, what you touched on is like great. Like there is funding and all of these things out there. The infrastructure is there. And I guess that is where I would challenge somebody like a Jazz Fest or these bigger organizations to do their research and diligence to find artists, to not, you know, continue to give the same. I don't want to be up here next year.
Yeah.
I don't care how well I did. I hope this fills your hunger and thirst to go look for more R&B artists or whatever, you know? Like, I really want to do away with this Anchorage thing of like, this works, so let's continue to do it, or this is great, so let's give that all the, you know, like, okay, you guys gave me a platform, you know, but let's give the next person a platform.
Yeah.
You know, and so that would be, I guess, my call to action for organizations and infrastructures that do seek to support artists. And, you know, and I will, if you guys want to partner with me, and like, I'm pretty hip. I can find the artists for you.
Yeah.
If you guys want, but like, you know, that is something that I see is like the same opportunities go to the same people or the same groups of people. And I think what's healthy is a little competition.
Absolutely.
If you believe in your art, then you should be okay standing next to everyone else, and then it's based off of merit. Mm-hmm. And I think we're gonna all get more creative that way.
Absolutely.
If one, we're aware that there's funding, mm-hmm. we're aware of all the information that we need and how to get it.
Yeah.
If everyone knows that there's a Rasmuson grant out there,
yeah.
and they know that they need to work the whole year toward that,
yeah.
and have bodies of work, then we're all gonna go harder to get those. Or it only goes to the same people, and then they just continue to do the bare minimal to get it, because they know it's already set up for them.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, I love that. Let's, you want to play another song?
Sure.
Cool.
This is a Giveon cover. Balloons are deflated. Guess they're just lifeless like me. We miss you on your side of the bed. Oh, still got your things here. They stare at me like souvenirs. Don't wanna let you out my hand. It's like the day that I met you, the day I thought forever. Said that you love me, but that'll last forever. It's cold outside, like when you left out my life, why you walked out my life. And I get like this every time. On these days it feels like you and me. Heartbreak anniversary. And I get like this every time. Days it feels like you and me. Heartbreak anniversary. Do you ever think of me? Oh, 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 'cause I think of you, think of you. I'm building my hopes up, like presents unopened till this day. I still see the messages you read. Oh, foolishly patient. Can't get past the taste of your lips. I just can't get you out my head. It's like the day that I met you, the day I thought forever. You said that you love me, but that'll last forever. It's cold outside, like when you left out my life, why you walked out my life. And I get like this every time. On these days it feels like you and me. Heartbreak anniversary. Do you ever think of me? Oh, oh, 'cause I think of you, think of you.
I gotta say, it is so much better.
This is sliding.
Doing this Amplify Alaska stream in front of an audience, just the people who are here to hear Ed, and it has been a real pleasure to be doing this Amplify Alaska series this year and watch these great conversations happen at Frostline Studios. But just hits differently to, like be able to talk to somebody out in public, to be able to see someone perform and to, sit here and check out your piano voicings, honestly.
I was checking out yours earlier, so that's funny. I was like, I know a little colors.
You know some colors.
Something.
I heard some tensions in there. You'll love to see it.
Thanks.
So feel free to stop me if it's too early to talk about this, but you...
Stop. No, I'm playing.
All right. We were sitting at the Yak and Yeti the other day, and you brought up something that you and your girlfriend Kayla have been thinking up, like, and it has me so excited. Like, it seems like it's in the really early stages, but after all the conversations we've been having this week, it seems like a piece of the puzzle to accomplishing what we've been talking about, right? Like, uplifting the, like, profile and professionalism and content and organization and accessibility of the Alaska music scene through help from organizations like Amplify Alaska and Rasmuson and stuff like that, but also through organization and support mutually from the people within the scene itself.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how your idea kind of ties that together?
Yeah. And so, I want to thank organizations again like Amplify Alaska and Spenard Jazz Fest and Akimi, because they've all been, a big part of me sort of realizing, the impact that I could have, even if it's small, and like just the power of feeling seen, how empowering that was for me, feeling seen. I just want to reiterate that. Feeling seen is just so like powerful and enabling. And I realized I could I can help. I can help. Everything that I'm saying, I can help along. Yeah. Everything that I benefited from, I can pay forward. And I guess my way of doing that is in our way. Me and my girlfriend Kayla, we decided she's a visual artist and I'm a musical artist, I guess, if you want to box us in, but we kind of do it all. Yeah. We decided, why don't we make a directory of creatives in our circle, and that is like in Alaska, but also outside of Alaska. So like Joel, you got your Alaska feet out in LA. I know a ton of people out in LA that live, that were born here or maybe had, received some help along the way in their journey. And your whole intentions are to bring that back.
Without a doubt, yeah.
And so, like, the issue I'm seeing is there's this, like, we're hemorrhaging creatives because a lot of people don't feel seen. A lot of people see the same people getting the same support. And so our way of mitigating that is we're starting this collective, and it's called The Sanctuary. And basically it's a safe haven for artists, one, to know that they'll that good business is here. It's a safe exchange of ideas, because I don't think that people should gatekeep ideas. They shouldn't gatekeep information. So it's going to be like, hopefully we'll have, and I'll partner with people, hopefully people watching this, I want to have, just like, when you're in high school and there's like scholarships and stuff, and like, they know kids are not gonna go look for those scholarships, but they know the same people that know to show up are gonna do it. And then there's the person that comes around and is like, hey, I'm gonna make this real easy for the kids to find, and it's all gonna be there. So basically that's the goal of it, is like, we're gonna have a central hub where artists can go on the page and they can look and find things like Rasmuson grants and Spenard Jazz Fest and all these things, and Akimi or whatever grants and things that are available for funding for artists all in one place. And then on the end of like organizations wanting to look, and I know that it's hard. We have such a generational gap. So, I'm not blaming anybody. It's just really hard. How can you be up on what's new and hip if you've got 2 or 3 generations separation? You know? And so my way of mitigating that is I'll be the middleman. So we want to have a directory of young creatives that are showing excellence in our community. And these things are all going to be right next to each other and in plain sight for everyone to see. I wanted it to be very important that my name, that no person, one person is associated with this. I want it to be very ambiguous as far as that goes, because I really believe that we are better together in this community. So yeah, I believe we just launched, right, Kayla? We just launched.
Was that it?
So our website is, I want to make sure we got it correctly, but it's Sanctuary Collective AK, but let me double check it. Yeah, the Sanctuary Collective AK.com. And, you know, please go check it out. Shout out to Kayla. She did all the designs. And, like, yes, we're growing. It's not going to be perfect. But I feel like if we're sitting at home, if we're judging the way things are, if we're, you know, like, realize that you have power. Your ability to acknowledge that there's a need is the first step. Do something about it. And so this is what I'm doing.
I love that. That's fucking awesome, man. Excuse my language, but no, I mean it's honestly so great because it like to me.
And I should say it's important. Like I've benefited from all of these things, you know, and like it's real easy to become tokenized coming from my culture, being able to speak certain languages. Like I can go and be on certain stages because I could pick up a guitar or whatever, you know, but like my goal is that somebody that looks like me and really loves what they do, that they don't have to pick up a guitar if they don't want to, that their music is still beautiful and sacred, you know, like it's all beautiful, you know, and so that is really the heart of the Sanctuary Collective, is just really just celebrating people and realizing that it just starts with us, you know?
Definitely.
We've got something here, you guys. We totally do.
Without a doubt. I think what's going to be so amazing being able to look at a directory like that is just seeing like the people who have worked with people you know and love from here as accessible. You know what I mean? Like I want somebody who is an up-and-coming singer-songwriter to not feel like they have nowhere they can go to record, not to feel like they have no musicians who would be thrilled to get approached to play their music. You know,
right.
People are hungry and, you know, like on a basic level, all want the same thing. You know, they want to feel seen, they want to collaborate, they want to contribute to something great and uplift the place that raised them. You know, like whatever that looked like for you in Anchorage. I mean, there are all these, like you touched on, like there are all these very separate bubbles within the Alaska music scene, and you shouldn't have to pretend to be something you're not just to find your way forward and find your way towards an audience or onto a certain stage. Yeah. You know, I think that like, well, being able to see on a platform like that all these different people that you wouldn't have met through your circle of friends because, you know, people keep to themselves, people keep to their little bubble. If you can see, oh, wow, like, I heard that song on Out North Radio, you know what I mean? Like, who produced that? Who was the producer? Oh, wow, like, here's his social media. Here's a testimonial from Ed Washington saying what a pleasure it was to work with this person. You know what I mean? Yeah. Here's a testimonial from a female artist saying how safe she felt working with this artist, because that, you know, that's the kind of thing that people want to hear. Too.
Exactly. So it's got a lot of potential to go a lot of ways, but I just want to speak on the, you know, foundation of it, and the heart of it is really just to connect and be a bridge. So on both sides, people can know that, like, the knowledge is accessible, the information is accessible. So, you know, like, people that are looking to celebrate diversity in this town or in this state, like, just know that there are ways to find young and upcoming artists. Y'all can y'all can message me. Y'all know who I am. Y'all can hit me up on Facebook. You know, like, that's the beauty of Alaska is, like, you know, like, utilize your network and stuff. So I'm just letting people know that, like, I am here and the information is here and that we're better together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for the people who grew up here and still feel connected to this place and still feel like this, despite where they need to live to make a living, will always be their home. I want to be a part of something like that and support it in any way I can because, you know, people won't be here all of the time, all year long. I want to be working with Alaskans in Los Angeles. I want to be working with Alaskans in New York. I want to be touring the world with people I grew up with here, you know?
Is this a proposal?
You want to go on tour?
I would love that.
Let's go on tour.
Who's getting down on one knee right now?
Yeah, I mean, this group that we're going to play with tonight is... I was trying to think of the last time living in Los Angeles, surrounded by world-class musicians, that I played a show that I felt as connected to as this music just in rehearsal. You know, I mean, we've like done a beautiful sound check here with Lucy Peckham and Frostline, but you know, like the journey is just beginning, and already I just like this has felt better than anything I've done in a really long time. So I'm really glad this is happening.
Me too, man. Thank you. And thank you for giving me this platform to share some of my thoughts and ideas. You know, I realize I don't know everything, but I want to learn, and I want to start the conversations. I want us to start having real, constructive, growth-oriented conversations.
Absolutely. Want to play a song?
Sure. Remember when we sat under the stars and kissed the moon goodnight? That was when I had a shitty car and always needed you for something. It was so different then. I called you my best friend. It complicated when I found myself wishing that you were mine, wishing that you were mine. I let down my pride until you realize. I recall being so afraid that you won't feel the same. Oh, I've heard it all. You don't want things to change. This might go up in flames. Our tears would fall like rain. It was so different then. I called you my best friend. It complicated when I found myself wishing that you were mine, wishing that you were mine. I laid down my pride until you realized. I broke your heart, you broke mine. Is this the outcome when two hearts collide? I should have heard your warning, I should have let it ride. I could have been a better man, I could have been more wise. You're drifting on the ocean of my mind. I'm treading water, praying you won't pass me goodbye. Oh, I'm still wishing that you were mine. Wishing that you were mine. I let down my pride until you realize.
Song is so good, man. Woo!
Thank you.
Yeah. You know when I first heard that song was many months ago. Someone at the Spenard Jazz Fest, I was in some Zoom meeting where they were talking about like the Alaska Real Book thing they wanted to do. I think that was the first time you and I talked. They were like, we need someone to transcribe this song. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I couldn't volunteer fast enough. Like I was just like, I had heard it and I was like, I know how to use some like notation software. I could write out this song. And then like the kind of like slow afternoon that I spent just doing it and like kind of like playing along, figuring out the chords, like listening to the couple different versions that you have of it. Like there's that live version of you at the piano, and then the one that you kind of like produced and released as part of the EP. Like,
yeah, shout out to one of my friends. His name's Kimani Dunn. I met him. I did 1 year of school outside, and in Virginia, and I got to meet all these really awesome, amazing, talented people, and yeah, we emailed tracks back and forth, and he was like, just send me acapellas. And he played piano over it, and it turned out better than I could have ever imagined. So
wow. So are you saying the way that the version of this that you released came together is that you sent him that completely acapella and he harmonized it?
Yeah. Oh no, I sent him the same way you were able to transcribe and make some charts out of it. He just only had that live video.
Oh, crazy.
And he's such a dope keys player. And, I admire musicians that can just look at people's hands. I'm trying to train there's ear training, but then there's eye training.
Yeah.
I want to get that eye training in. So, he was able to just, he heard it, he saw it, and then he flipped it and did amazing.
Yeah.
And, it's so there's that aspect of, feeling, being seen, and then, also allowing people to express and do their thing. And that's so exciting.
Yeah,
Super
without a doubt.
Exciting. Collaboration is so fun.
When I was listening to that song and transcribing it, just not even thinking that I would get to perform it with you someday, having never met you and, only knowing you, just beginning to know you through your music, right? I was writing out this song and I was like, I couldn't help but have a million ideas of ways that I wanted to play it with you, the way that you play the bridge and the way that we're going to be doing the bridge here tonight are pretty different. And the melody is so solid that it can be sort of infinitely adapted to, I think, a number of situations beyond even what we're going to be doing tonight. Yeah. And it just stands up. I mean, it works without a groove behind it. It works with a groove behind it. It works with a couple different grooves behind it throughout the song.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate that. I feel like that's that's really one of the highest forms of a compliment. Because the best art, the art that I really love is the ones that inspire me and make me want to do. And that's why I do a ton of covers, right? It's because it's I really love the melody is so good, or the harmony is so good, or what there's something about it I just love. And it makes me want to create.
It fills it fills your head with possibilities. I mean, you want to take the
she
sort
filled
of
my mind
gist
up
of
with
it.
ideas. You listen to Travis Scott?
Not as much as I should. You got to give me some starting points for Travis Scott. Give me an album to listen to top to bottom. I'll check it out. So I always wish people did this more on the Amplify Alaska program, but I'd love to just ask you about how you got to the place you are as a songwriter, and some of the ways that you were talking about things, you learned covers, they fill your head with ideas and ways that you want to do something like that or something more with it. What were some of those things initially?
Like what songs?
What songs? Was it performances that you went to? Was it songs that you heard on the radio? Was it songs that you discovered yourself? How did music sort of come into your life like that?
I think it's so beautiful and such a full circle thing that like we got like Pipeline Vocal Project doing stuff here.
Yeah.
And I'm such a product of my environment, of Anchorage, and what it is to nurture an artist and all of that, you know, like, but also what it is to be an Alaskan and be in solitude and everything else, you know, like, so I made a lot of music alone, right?
Yeah.
And I was kind of on this journey to find people who I could relate to, and music was my vehicle for that.
Yeah.
And when I went to UAA, I joined the UAA Glee Club, as cheesy as that sounds. And we did a cappella music, and it filled our souls, and it helped us beat the winter blues. It helped us beat the blues of being a freaking college student and probably having to work 2-3 jobs and then somehow like show up.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but having community was very important. And that organization and that spirit has lived on. It's lived on in my music. You know, I love arranging vocals and all that, you know, and my love for covers and all that, you know, was kind of really cultivated in that setting because there was like what we had was our voices. Yeah. And we arranged to those, you know, and we try to make really creative takes on those. And now to see where that could extend to, there's something like this vocal pipeline, you know, vocal pipeline project, which is like so dope.
Yeah.
It's so dope to see that a cappella music is still living and like, you know, and they're doing it well. So I just want to give props to them and just kind of tie in like, you know, we all kind of had that same roots of like,
definitely.
We had this camaraderie and love for a cappella music. And it's cool to see where they're going, and you know, it all can be expressed different, and that's why I'm like, people shouldn't gatekeep information because we're all different. We're all gonna express it differently.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So starting with a cappella stuff, when did you start playing with bands and sort of performing solo and writing music?
So I got to do a ton of stuff around town. Like, if people are back in the day, there was this Tower of Power band, tribute band called Power of 10.
Yeah.
And I got to sing with amazing vocalists like Monica Lettner and Mark, I forget his last name, but he actually passed. And like I got to be exposed to all them. And Karen Strid, she was a part of the jazz program at UAA.
Yeah. And
she just kind of like knew I had a knack or an interest in this thing that wasn't actually being taught in the university, you know? Like, I had to learn classical music because that was, you know, I wanted to learn music, and that was what was there. I was able to get, you know, have fun outside of that, like doing like the Glee Club and doing like jazz stuff. And then I ended up in this band, this Tower of Power tribute band. And I just learned a lot about like how to be like more professional in a band setting as a singer.
Yeah.
And like, you know, be on your stuff and know your entrances and all this stuff, you know, they're instilling it in you because they've been playing for a long time. And, you know, so I'm a product of that too. And then, you know, I started to reach out to artists and stuff, and I didn't realize there was this whole artist scene of people that made music in their room, just like me.
Yeah.
But that's the issue of only making it in your room sometimes. You don't realize there's a ton of people like you.
Yeah.
And I just started to end up in people's DMs. Like, I had a curiosity about it, like how me and Nick met. It was like, I heard about Meet and Build, and I heard Meet and Build, and I was like, whoa. Then I reached out. And then, you know, he listened to my music and was like, whoa. And then we both sat in front of each other and we were like, whoa, whoa. And now we do that on the podcast all day. We're just like, oh, I love you. So shout out to Nick Carpenter as well. He's definitely somebody kind of driving this thing forward, and it's definitely shown love to me. And so, like, I've been been able to play with Meet and Build for a long time, and like Nick will always throw me curveballs. So actually, like we're talking about like quarantine projects and stuff. I picked up bass a month before we had a live stream gig, and Nick was like, "I need you to play bass," and so I was like, "I got you. I'm gonna play bass." And like it was almost like a challenge, right?
Yeah.
And we did it, and it worked out. And like he knew I would like really have a hunger and passion for this. And then, and leading up to that, I used to like really just be supportive and like sing all their lyrics and harmonize from the audience and show up to every show. So I kind of just was like, "You're gonna let me in this band,"
You sang your way into Meet and Build.
Yeah, I fanned my way into the band, and and then I worked real hard, and so I picked up bass, and like that was tight because then I was like, "Whoa!" Now that I know bass, I can put that into production, and that like me sort of being in the band setting, like I think what's hard now is like people are doing the internet thing and they double down on just the internet thing. But Alaska's cool because you like have access to like, you can probably just post up at a place and just play and they just would be happy to have you. Like get your chops up too.
Yeah.
And, like, especially when there's not a lot at stake. That's the best time to get your chops up.
It's the absolute best.
So I'm so grateful to have opportunities like working with people like Nick Carpenter and working alongside people like Quinn Christopherson and just, they really sharpened me and helped me to get better. And I just want to like continue to pay that forward.
Definitely. So, yeah. That's really in the spirit of what we're talking about.
I'm a product of Anchorage through and through. I love you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm sure your career will take you all over the place, inside in Alaska and outside and all over the world. But, like, I think, like me, you'll find that the impression that this place left on you doesn't go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you're always going to think of yourself as an Alaskan no matter where you live. You're always going to think of yourself as somebody who wants to do what you can to uplift this community and to, participate and, just give back however you can.
Yeah, how could you not? Especially if you get opportunities and like, like I said, it's just been so empowering to feel seen.
Absolutely. Yeah, this festival and the performance we're about to do tonight is a real full circle moment for me too, because one of the first places I ever felt seen or got any sort of positive reinforcement as a musician was at a jam session at the Taproot, led by Nick Patuminis, who's going to be playing bass in your band tonight. I mean, like, I tell him all the time, and I'm sure he's tired of hearing it, but like, I sort of owe that man everything. Like, it's, I wouldn't have conceived that I... Shout out to Nick Patuminis, man.
So supportive.
It's
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this is the beauty of, like, really, like, Nick is someone that really just loves music. It was funny, like, seeing him, like, love my stuff and celebrate what I did because I've been around, like, really intellectual musicians before. So, and, like, sometimes they tend to be dismissive of things that they don't view as intellectual.
Yeah.
But Nick is different.
Yeah.
And it was just so funny for him to see something in what I was doing and really know what I was trying to convey. And then for him to and I was like, "Oh man, wow, this is awesome. Like, he's a great musician. Like, and he loves my stuff. That's super validating." And then he drops on me like, "Yeah, I just got my doctorate." And I'm like, psh, 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 psh. I just I think that's so refreshing to know that I can have a hunger and thirst for knowledge and still like celebrate things that are new and upcoming. And like he, I think his motto was like, a good musician is like, has his feet in the present and, and a hand in the past and is looking forward to the future.
I think.
And I feel like he really embodies that.
I'm trying to remember what the
exact
quote
wording,
was.
But
it was like
a
great, like,
y'all.
I've never seen someone quote themselves and like been as stoked about it as hearing Nick quote himself the other day. I think the quote was like a complete musician. Stop me if you remember that I'm wrong, but like I think he said a complete. He'll correct us later, but I think he said a complete musician has his feet in the past. Like, you've studied where your music comes from. your heart is in the present.
Yeah, the heart is in the present.
And your head is in the future,
Yeah,
right? You're
your head
looking
is in the
forward to
future.
like what is, you're tracking like where music has been, where it is now. You're listening to everything you can, and you're trying to extrapolate forward like what's next. You know what I mean? What is the future of this sound like? How can I shape that in my own image if I want to?
And like him sort of like, expressing that really just like, I was like, that's it. That's exactly, that's what I'm doing. That's it right there, you know? And like, and then we all realize, wow, we've got more in common than we have different, even though we all have different backgrounds.
Definitely.
Like, that's it. So this has been such a beautiful and cathartic and amazing experience for me. And I just want to thank you, and I appreciate you arranging all of these. Like, y'all clap for me, but give Nick, there's so many
Nick
names
too.
and stuff going through my head. Give Joel a hand.
Thank you so much.
Give Amplify Alaska a hand. Give Spenard Jazz Fest a hand. Give Van's Dive Bar a freaking
Van's
hand.
Dive Bar. It is good to be here. How about you take us out with another song, if you got one?
Okay. You know when you lost one, a good one, you know when you lost one. Go out and fuck different people to cope and ignore all precautions. You drink and get faded, you feel like it's your only option. And if it's too late, I understand. Sometimes it's too late to make amends. Just hear me out before you let it go. There's just one thing I need for you to know. Don't have too much fun without me. Don't have too much fun. Please don't forget about me. Try not to love no one, yeah. Try not to love no one, yeah. That's too much to ask. I know I'm a selfish bitch, but I want you to know that I'm working on it. I know it don't matter. I know it won't make you heal no effing faster. I know I'm nothing short of a disaster. And if it's too late, I understand. Sometimes it's too late to make amends. Just hear me out before you let it go. There's just one thing I need for you to know. Don't have too much fun without me. Don't have too much fun. Please don't forget about me. Try not to love no one, yeah. Try not to love no one.
Thank you so much for being here on Amplify Alaska. Thank you for being here in Anchorage and writing the beautiful music that you write. And thank you for becoming my friend this week. I've had such a good time rehearsing and hanging out and talking. This has been very life-affirming and needed for me. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you. Like, everything you said, back to you, Thank
Absolutely,
you,
man. Yeah. This show tonight is going to be incredible. The band sounds amazing.
My hair is pink.
Ed's hair is pink.
I did.
Look at that! Round of applause for that,
I had a
huh?
little extra piercing, so I'm showing up.
Ed looks great.
Y'all got to show up.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. I mean, yeah, thank you so much to everyone who tunes in to Amplify Alaska. This is the end of our season, I guess. This is the end of our first season. We feel so lucky to be able to do it. I feel so lucky to partner with Richard at Frostline and Yngvil, and everyone who, like Hannah and Derek, who run the video and audio month after month and make it look amazing. This has been a really amazing thing for me, and we're gonna get to do it next year. We're gonna come back in a slightly different format, maybe not in such a live streamed kind of thing, but you'll know when I know. But
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. I don't yet know, but I know it's going to be great. And yeah, thanks so much. Hi, Mom and Dad. I'm sure you're watching. It's
Hi, Mom.
weird for me to be on here, but I've had a fantastic time. Thank you to GCI and the Rasmuson Foundation. A number of, oh my God, I'm going to blank on the rest of the sponsors, aren't I? But they are numerous. On the screen. What
they
screen?
Put it on the screen. Okay,
What screen?
they're saying, don't
What's
worry.
the screen? Oh, it's on
We
the. Oh,
got
great,
it.
great.
They're gonna
Yeah,
display
thank you.
it. Thank you. That's community.
That's
right
community.
there.
Yeah, that's Hannah and Derek being real consummate professionals. But yeah, I think that's all we got. Let's get ready to put on a great show, man.
Yes. Let's do it. Thank you.